Authentic branding is about becoming more of who you already are. Today's expert shares that you don't build a brand first, you become it. This is how individuals and teams transform how they lead, communicate, and connect. So, who is this guest expert that I speak of? She is Dr. Brigitte Bojkowszky, a global brand identity strategist, business educator, retreat host, and the visionary behind BridgetBrands. She is one who supports leaders, entrepreneurs, and organizations to step into their full presence, to be seen, heard, and respected for who they truly are and the value that they bring. And this is the whole reason why I've invited her and why she's joining us today on Awaken and Ascend. I'm Jennifer Regular, your host and the founder of Lighting the Path. And this podcast is a way that we can inspire collective transformation. So thankful that you're tuning in today. And Dr. Brigitte, it is an honor to be sitting here with you. Welcome all the way from Austria. It's so exciting to have you here.
Hello, Jennifer. Thank you so much for having me here today.
And I'm curious what actually got you here, Brigitte. What inspired you on your path? Where did you feel the call to be doing what you're doing right now?
Um, it was a journey. It was a becoming, actually, because my journey has been anything but linear. This
Yes.
life is kind of coming together different chapters that at first glance, yeah, just look disconnected and wouldn't make sense at all. So my life, actually, my professional life started in the sky. I was a flight attendant for several years. And then from flight attendant to studying, and from studying to becoming working in corporate, and then back to studying, becoming a corporate leader. And while I was a corporate leader, I started teaching at the university because I studied international marketing and management and business education. So I am a certified teacher, and allowed to teach at universities. This is what I did for the last 25 years. So, and while I was teaching, then as a professor at universities, I started my own business. I became an entrepreneur. And as you already said, I'm a brand identity strategist, business educator. I'm also a podcaster, author, and also retreat facilitator. And soon I'm also now certifying in becoming a success mindset coach and mentor. So this becomes full circle.
Oh,
So
beautiful.
every chapter in my life is a layer of becoming. So service at the flight attendant taught me humility. I understood and I had the opportunity to dive into different nationalities, understand different cultural contexts. So that was really something that that made me who I am, and it's part of me to have this global perspective. And then also corporate leadership taught me strategy and also the power dynamics. And academia taught me structure and depth and reflection and teaching others. So this is coming along to that as well. And entrepreneurship, as you know, is a roller coaster
Oh,
ride.
yeah.
Me perseverance, taught me grit, courage, sovereignty, and also living my true self.
Yeah.
And beneath that journey and the story lies the real story. And the real story is that, and I think many of us feel that sometimes, and I felt it a lot, to be invisible, that the true me is not being seen.
Hmm.
And I was outwardly succeeding, but internally I was shrinking. It's this searching for external validation in order to fit in and to be part of something. But I was, when doing so, disconnecting from my inside. And I was really good in my roles, but I was performing and not being. And through all these chapters, I was transitioning from one state of being into another state of being. And some transitions I was choosing intentionally because I knew as a flight attendant, I cannot do that until the end of my life. I was
Mhm.
intellectually not challenged, so I had to choose.
Hmm.
But sometimes, with the financial crisis rolling in 2008 with the
Mhm.
recession, I was nudged. So basically, the universe, was imposing that, and so yeah, and I was like, trying to find who am I, and was always searching for who am I and who do I want to become. And so I began this inner work, yeah, this uncomfortable, honest work, but
Mhm.
also, as you know, liberating work of remembering who I was before the world told me who to be. So yeah, then I stopped chasing this external validation and started creating from my authenticity. So really living it. And that's not so easy. And especially when it's coupled with the vulnerability and showing who you
Mhm.
really are, and really standing up for yourself. And what became clear then, and so here I think we come full circle again, that branding isn't just for businesses. That what I've been doing that and teaching that for more than 25 years.
Mhm.
But it also applies for people because
Yeah.
it's identity work and it's how we anchor ourselves
Mhm.
when the world shakes. And so that's my mission. And yeah, to my vision, basically, let's say it like that, is a world of authentically shining brands, and not just for
Mhm.
companies but for people, for leaders, for change makers, and yeah, for humans who don't want to hide behind the roles anymore, behind their titles, and also and expectations others have of you, and who are, yeah, want to fully embody who they truly are. And so at the heart of all of that lies my soul mission, and my
Mhm.
soul mission is empowering authentic visibility.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Empowering
So,
authentic
yeah.
visibility. I love that so much for you coming into that and having the courage to step into that work and light the way for others to really embody that as well. What I hear in brand identity is truly about embodied leadership. And it sounds like you are, and all the people that I tend to connect with these days are the movers and the shakers. You're talking about shaking up the world, and there's people that are either leading a new way of thinking, a new way of being, or actual movement, or shaking things up and realizing that we don't belong in the normal context of society, that we were born to stand out and blaze a new trail, a new way. And I'm so grateful that you had the tenacity and the courage to move through the path it takes, because you're so right. It's not linear. There's many, many pivots along the way. And although we all have our unique journey, it's the same kind of rhythm that we follow from our corporate or career into our calling. And knowing that there's something more, knowing that there's a fuller expression, there's different parts of us that also want to be seen and heard. And it's interesting paradox that we all want to be seen and heard, and yet we fear it at the same time. So many of us tend to hold our gifts, especially in the early days. And that's not so much the case anymore now, because there's so many people that are like kind of outliers that are now being successful and speaking out and sharing their gifts, that it makes it okay for others to do that as well. To be a role model of the light, to be the light leaders, to shine the way and illuminate that it's okay to be strong and vulnerable at the same time. And in fact, it's honored today in society to be in that context. And so I love everything that you just shared with us. And the pattern also seems to be what I've embedded the code into in my work, is bringing people from remembrance into alignment, then activation and transformation. And we continue to go through that, and be able to accept that in that way. And so I'm curious now, in your brand identity work, How do you help people move from performance and productivity into peace and presence and just being who they are and allowing that to be the work?
Mm. I call that authentic branding because it's about becoming more of who you already are. We talked about that before already, right?
Mhm,
But from my
mhm,
perspective, it's not an act of creation because when you think about branding, it's all about, yeah, the tagline and the logo and the color and the website.
mm,
Yeah. It's an act of remembrance,
mhm,
branding.
mhm.
It's not about adding these layers, performing roles, and shaping yourself into what the market, the industry, the society expects from us. It's about peeling back, excavating, yeah, peeling back what's no longer true so that what has already been true can finally be expressed.
Yes,
It's your
yes.
true essence. That's what you are. And it's interesting. We live in a world that teaches us to brand ourselves from the outside in. You know,
Mm,
the external validation. I have to do this, and a brand agency tells you this and that, and the marketing agency tells you what you have to communicate and the verbiage. And but if they don't know you, yeah,
mhm.
it's hollow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, you choose, as I said, the colors and craft the message, and you perfecting the performance here. Yeah.
Mm,
And then they optimize your visibility.
mm,
But when branding starts there, it feels hollow. It
mhm.
truly, and it might be polished, but it's disconnected from your true self because
Yeah,
there is no meaning attached to it.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, it's strategic, but soulless. And there is
Strategic
no,
and not sustainable.
yeah. And it's,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. And because you say it, it's a flash in the pan, I would call
Right.
it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
after the next shiny thing, and the marketing
Hmm.
branding agency tells you that's what you look like, that's your branding, and run with it,
Hmm.
roll with it. But how can you do that when you're not internally living it?
Yeah.
When you're not attaching meaning to it? When you're not having a story to it? When because with the story, with the meaning, you attract people, you touch people's hearts. It comes from the emotions. There's
Mm.
today I already said to someone else, branding has a duality, yeah, a brand. Yeah, there is the rational part, it's the understanding part, and there is the emotional part.
Mm.
So branding should always touch your heart first, and then
Hmm.
you understand and you remember. And
Yeah.
that's when you go with, rational and with creation of marketing material and
Mm.
promotions that is not rooted in this authenticity, in your meaning, in your true self, whether it's a person or the company or the product, yeah, what it really is, what it should translate,
Hmm.
then it's hollow. Then it's short-lived. You
It
pay a
is.
lot, it's a lot of effort,
Yeah.
and at the end of the day, it's short-lived. And I think that's sad. Yeah. So because branding, becoming requires this courage. Yeah. It's an
Mm.
inside-out approach.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, Branding means releasing identities that once kept you safe, also, yeah, as a person. Yeah, what kept you safe now keeps you small. Yeah,
Mm.
this is something the safe way to go with the
Yes.
external validation. But when you come from the internal, it's something that you're opening up to something that means letting go of old versions of doing, old versions of creating, because you're
Yeah.
creating something, but from what?
Yeah.
So when you become it, you're creating from something that is already there within.
Mm.
Yeah? So that's
Beautiful.
the difference. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's what I mean. The brand exists already within you.
Mm.
Yeah. And also the essence already knows the way.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're not thinking about how should I da 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 da.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's already coming from within. It's just about it expressing. It's already flowing. Yeah.
And you don't have to chase anymore. You don't have to try to keep up with the latest trends and methods and formulas and all of those things. And we
So
do get to shift from the roll to roll way of relating to make it soul to soul. And one other thing that I just wanted to comment on that you talked about too is, when you talked about being seen and heard and respected, I find there's a big pattern too. I know for myself that I learned through this that it's about being seen and heard and understood. Because when we don't feel understood, that's when all that self-doubt and questioning all comes up. And then we keep seeking that approval or validation or pleasing people or not wanting to disappoint others. And those are mental traps, mental afflictions that also help to continue up, keeping us
yeah.
small and not having the courage to really step out into it. So what the right conditions that support us in that authentic branding into the embodied leadership?
The conditions is, so first of all, I would like to add to that because
Mm,
you said about visibility. Yeah, it's
mm,
not about being the loudest.
right.
It's about being the clearest, and the
Yeah.
clearest is only when you are clear with yourself, with who you are,
Yeah.
because branding is an energetic transmission. Yeah,
Mm,
people
mhm.
don't connect to the loudest, who is out there in the market with, the loudest flashy logos or something. They connect to presence.
Yes.
And that's what it is. Yeah, you only have the presence when you are becoming, when you really understand what that is that makes you shine, that helps you to radiate to the outside world.
Yes. Yes.
About having this vision. It's about yourself, your life, your business, or what you want to leave behind, and also your why you are here. What is it that I can, no one else can? What's the difference? And not only about me that makes you different. When you know you are in your sweet spot, then you are already different than anyone else because you're looking inward. But what is the difference that you make for other people? And this is the difference that you only find within first. It's the
Mm-hmm.
clarity that you have internally
Mm-hmm.
that aligns. There is then this congruence with your external expression. And then it lands. Only then it lands. Because what you do then is you make others feel something about you.
Mm.
Yeah, and that's where the connection is. That's they connect to your presence. Yeah,
Yeah.
branding is making others feel something. So what do you
Mm-hmm.
want them to feel? Yeah, the difference that you make in their life, and that's why they are choosing you, because you make it in a way that is so pronounced, yeah, that is so relevant to them that this is attracting. This is so then your brand is magnetic.
Mm.
It's resonating in the market. Yeah. So yeah, it's staying true to yourself and to who you truly are. You might not, you might repel other people.
And you
You might
will.
not
There'll be the
everyone.
attraction and the
This is
repel. That's what you want.
yeah. And I think
Yeah.
we also need to own that
Yeah.
this is okay because on our path there is rejections and rejections because we need to find our way through, right?
Mm-hmm.
Need to find a way to the other side, and especially as an entrepreneur. And so these are the presumed failures or something like that, which actually is not, because
Mm-hmm.
it's feedback, it's a redirection of our
Absolutely.
path.
Yes,
Yeah.
rejection is redirection. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So
Hmm.
this, so that and also that makes us stronger and more resilient as a
Mm.
as a brand, as a
More
person, as a business.
clear and coherent
You
as
can
well.
understand,
Yeah.
okay, they repel me. That's okay. But
Yeah.
obviously it's not part of me and of my becoming. But they
Hmm.
are the right people. So once you're clear with yourself, then you're gonna attract exactly those people that support you, whether it's your referral partners, the business partners, or your clients.
Yeah. Yeah, that inner connection and the outer connection is where you have the greatest impact and where you
Mhm.
can influence others and where you have potency. there's, people talk about passion all the time, and I have a unique perspective, you can say, on what passion actually is. Because when you break up the word, it's pass I on. And that I is your soul's expression of what you're
Mm.
here to pass on in this lifetime. So passion's not just an energy or a drive, it is actually your calling and what you specifically are here to pass on in this lifetime. And so I love what you're passing on.
Yeah,
Bridget.
it's so funny. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for kind of breaking up that word passion,
Mhm.
because one of my slogans is passion for brand excellence.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I'm passing this on, and for
Hmm.
me, so excellence is one of my core values,
Okay.
and that's interesting. The connection what you have just said, because I have this passion for this brand excellence, so helping others to be in their excellence as the best version of themselves through being authentically visible.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not about being perfect.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, should never confuse that,
Right.
because you will never achieve to be perfect, and that doesn't make you really authentic, right? It's an antidote, basically. Yeah. We're always striving, a lot of people striving for
Yeah.
this perfection, which is not
Yes.
possible. You
No.
never reach it, and then you are not happy because you're not achieving that. You will never.
And
But
continuously procrastinating, because that's the flip side of perfectionism is
it's
procrastination.
always,
Yeah.
exactly, and it's
Yeah.
always an external. You're hunting for this external validation with
Yeah.
perfection.
Mm.
But when it's in excellence, I try to do my best today. I'm giving my best.
Mm.
That's striving for excellence. You're
Mm.
giving your best in order to serve someone, yeah, to make him or her comfortable here or there, yeah, or whatever your goal is on that day. But you're always giving your best. So that means you are striving for excellence. And that is, it's also not such a stressful thing you are after, right? It's
Mhm.
just give your best. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And truly, you free your spirit to direct the life that you're meant to live. Because it's not just in your work, it shows up in every area of your life. And that's true authenticity, is being congruent. You are who you are in your work, and you are who you are in your education and your learning process and your journey as a human or spiritual being, and in your family and with your friends. You're the same person. You don't compartmentalize different parts of you to satisfy those other people and places and situations in your life. So Dr. Bridget, with your brand excellence, with BridgetBrands, and people are hearing this and they're like, yes, I want that. How can they connect with you?
They can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm
Okay.
pretty much yeah, on LinkedIn all the time.
Yeah.
I'm creating content on LinkedIn, and so that's where my crowd is, my tribe is, and where
Hmm.
my clients are. I'm also on Instagram, but not as much as on LinkedIn though.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you can connect with me there. We can hop on a one-on-one call. I also have a website, BridgetBrands.com. And you also find on that website something that is coming up that is my retreat. And it's also about I am becoming. It's a,
Beautiful.
yeah, for women, it's women empowerment. It's an immersive journey of reclamation, of realignment and reinvention.
Mm.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more about that, you will find that also on my website. So yeah, that's me.
Fantastic. Yeah, we'll have those links for Instagram, LinkedIn, and your website in the video description below. So, for any of you that are tuning in right now, it's an easy way to connect. Just click onto those in the description. And Dr. Bridget, is there anything else that you would like to share with our audience today?
Yeah, if people are questioning, where do I start?
Yeah.
When it comes to becoming and branding, especially you as a human being, how you want to show up in the world, how you want to present yourself to the world. The most powerful question to ask first is, who am I committed to becoming? Because it's very much about commitment,
Hmm.
commitment to being and to becoming. So I think that, yeah, is something to reflect upon.
Yeah, to really devote your life to what you're most about, coming from that heart space. What are you most devoted to? And devoting your life to what you're most about, what you stand for, what your core values are, who your
Yeah.
authentic being and essence is, and to come from that place. So
And this
beautiful what you've
And
shared.
especially, when you are trying to fit into something and you're missing your authenticity and you want to live it more, then
Mm.
also ask yourself, what truth am I still not voicing? What is
Oh.
there? Yeah.
Mm.
So I think this is another question that opens up a lot in someone who wants to start and is on the journey of becoming.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. It's a beautiful, gentle starting place. A nice, safe step to take is to reflect on that. And curious what your answer to that would be if you're tuning in today on Awaken and Ascend. Let's see that in the comments. Any questions that are coming from you? If anything got activated or stirred up or shook up inside of you today, let's share that. And we read those comments and questions. So be sure to interact with us. We're both available for that for you. And all my information is also in the video description. If you want to hear about the Sacred Leaders Compass, you can download that for free. That's my gift for you tuning in today. And also the 11-week portal to the Sacred Leadership Immersion is coming up this spring. So keep an eye out for that. And I am so excited for all that's to unfold this year in 2026 as we're meeting today and how this looks, 10 years from now, people still tune in and watch these videos, and then it can still be relevant on a different level, on a different frequency. And so, really curious about what unfolds from this conversation and what's unfolded for you today. If you're tuning in, make sure you comment and share this with someone who might be interested in this perspective of branding and identity and embodied leadership that we've been exploring today. Thank you so much, Dr. Brigitte Bojkowszky, for being here today, all the way from Austria. It's so wonderful to have you here. Thank you. Thank you so much for all you shared.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for having me. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
It was a pleasure, and I'm so much grateful for each and every one of you that have been tuning in as well. We'll see you again next time on Awaken and Ascend. Bye for now.